Have you ever noticed that you are not exactly the same person in a group as you are when you are alone? You may be thoughtful alone, calm, reasonable. You may have your own opinions, your own standards, your own sense of what is right. But then you enter a group, a workplace, a friendship circle, a political movement, a social media crowd, a family gathering, and slowly, something changes. You begin to think differently. You laugh at things you do not really find funny. You stay silent when you disagree. You copy the language people use. You adopt the opinions people reward. You avoid saying anything that might make you look strange, difficult, disloyal, or different. And the dangerous part is this: most of the time, you do not even notice it happening. This is Law 14, the Law of Conformity. And Robert Greene calls it, resist the downward pull of the group. Because the group can elevate you, but it can also pull you down. It can make you brave, but it can also make you blind. It can give you belonging, but it can also steal your individuality. The uncomfortable truth is this: you have a social personality, a version of you that appears when you are surrounded by others. And this version of you is often more emotional, more imitative, more status-conscious, and less rational than the person you believe yourself to be. That is why this law matters, because if you do not understand the power of the group, you may spend your life believing you are thinking for yourself while quietly living according to the crowd. Robert Greene shows this law through a disturbing example from history, the Cultural Revolution in China. A young student named Gao Jianhua entered school with dreams of becoming a writer. He loved literature. He wanted to study. He wanted to build a future. But then the atmosphere around him began to change. Political campaigns spread through the school. Students were encouraged to rebel against authority. Teachers were accused. Posters appeared. Groups formed. At first it felt exciting. The students believed they were part of something heroic, something pure, something revolutionary. But slowly, the group energy changed. Suspicions spread. Students began attacking teachers, then they attacked each other. Friends became enemies. Different factions formed. Each group believed it represented truth. Each side believed the other side was dangerous. And once the group had an enemy, almost anything became justified. Humiliation, violence, cruelty, betrayal. What began as idealism became tribal madness. And this is the terrifying lesson. When people enter a group under emotional pressure, they often stop thinking as individuals. They begin thinking as members of a tribe. The world becomes simple. Good versus evil, us versus them, loyal versus disloyal, revolutionary versus enemy. And once people think this way, they can do things they would never do alone. This is not just about China. This is not just about politics. This same pattern appears everywhere, in smaller forms, in companies, in families, in religious groups, in online communities, in friend circles, in social movements, in any place where belonging becomes more important than truth. Because groups create pressure, not always obvious pressure, not someone shouting in your face, but subtle pressure. The pressure to agree, the pressure to fit in, the pressure to prove loyalty, the pressure to adopt the accepted opinion. And once you feel that pressure, your thinking begins to change. You may tell yourself, I still think independently. But look closely. How often do you challenge the group you belong to? How often do you say what you truly think, when you know people may dislike it? How often do you hold a position that your group would not approve of? Most people rarely do, not because they are cowards, but because belonging is one of the strongest human needs. For most of human history, the group meant survival. To be accepted meant safety. To be excluded meant danger. That ancient fear still lives inside us. So when we enter a group, we instinctively scan the environment. What do people value here? what opinions are rewarded, what behaviour is punished, who has status, who is ignored, who is dangerous to disagree with. And then, without realizing it, we adjust. We dress slightly differently. We speak slightly differently. We hide parts of ourselves. We exaggerate other parts. We become actors. This is one of Greene's key points. In groups, we perform. You perform competence at work. You perform confidence around ambitious people. You perform morality in social circles. You perform loyalty in tribes. You perform success online. And over time, the performance can become your personality. At first, you know you are acting. You know you are smiling because you have to, agreeing because it is easier, staying quiet because it is safer. But eventually, the mask fuses with your face. You stop asking, "What do I actually believe?" and start asking, "What should someone like me believe?" That is when conformity becomes dangerous. Because the group no longer controls you from the outside, it controls you from within. Another force Greene highlights is emotional contagion. Emotions spread through groups. Anxiety spreads. Outrage spreads. Excitement spreads. Greed spreads. Fear spreads. This is why a workplace can become tense even when no one says anything. This is why panic spreads in crowds. This is why social media can make millions of people angry at the same time. This is why financial bubbles happen. When everyone around you seems certain, you begin to feel certain too. When everyone seems afraid, you start looking for danger. When everyone wants the same thing, you begin to want it as well. And once the group emotion takes over, your personal judgment becomes weaker. You stop thinking, "Is this actually true?" and begin thinking, "Why does everyone feel this strongly?" But strong emotion is not proof of truth. A crowd can be deeply confident and deeply wrong. That is why groups often create what Greene describes as a dangerous certainty. When you are alone, you doubt, you reflect, you question yourself. But in a group, doubt feels like betrayal. So people rush toward agreement. They silence hesitation. They punish nuance. They reward certainty. And the result is group blindness. Everyone becomes more confident, precisely when they should be more careful. You see this in companies that ignore obvious warning signs. You see it in teams that follow bad leaders. You see it in online mobs that destroy reputations before facts are known. You see it in friends who encourage each other's worst impulses. The group gives people courage, but not always wisdom. And that brings us to another part of Law 14, the court and its courtiers. Greene uses the idea of the court to describe any environment where people gather around power: a royal court, a corporate office, a political party, a media company, a university department, even a small workplace. Wherever there is a leader, there are courtiers, people competing for attention, influence, access, status, protection. And in these environments, people rarely say what they truly mean. They flatter, they mirror, they form alliances, they hide envy, they pretend loyalty, they play roles. One person becomes the intriguer, appearing loyal while secretly gaining power. Another becomes the stirrer, creating drama because chaos gives them importance. Another becomes the gatekeeper, controlling access to the leader. Another becomes the favorite, enjoying special treatment until envy destroys them. Another becomes the punching bag, the person everyone quietly looks down on to feel superior. And the danger is not simply that these people exist. The danger is that the court changes everyone. Even honest people begin playing games. Even intelligent people begin flattering. Even strong people begin worrying too much about status. Because once you enter a court, you cannot pretend politics does not exist. If you act as if you are above the game, you may become isolated. If you play the game too deeply, you may lose yourself. So the goal is not naive honesty, and it is not ruthless manipulation. The goal is awareness. Learn the game without becoming consumed by it. Fit in outwardly while staying inwardly independent. Be useful. Be calm. Be observant. Do not blindly worship leaders. Do not become addicted to approval. Do not join every faction. Do not let the group define your reality. This is the heart of the law. You must develop group intelligence. Group intelligence means understanding what happens to you in groups. It means noticing when your emotions are not fully your own. It means asking, do I really believe this? Or do I believe it because everyone around me believes it? It means asking, am I angry because this truly matters? Or because the group has made anger feel like loyalty? It means asking, am I staying silent because I agree? Or because I fear rejection? That question alone can change your life. Because the first step to freedom is seeing the pressure, not denying it, not pretending you are above it, seeing it. The next step is building inner distance. This does not mean isolating yourself. It does not mean rebelling against everything. Mindless rebellion is just another form of conformity. Many people who call themselves nonconformists are simply conforming to another group, another identity, another tribe. True independence is quieter than that. It is the ability to cooperate with others without surrendering your mind. It is the ability to belong without becoming a copy. It is the ability to respect the group without worshipping it. And then Greene gives us the positive version, the reality group. A reality group is different from a dysfunctional group. In a dysfunctional group, people obsess over status. Information is hidden, factions form, leaders are surrounded by flatterers, bad ideas survive because no one wants to challenge them. People blame individuals when things go wrong, but never examine the group dynamic itself. So the same problems repeat. Different people, same failure. Different leader, same culture. Different strategy, same blindness. But a reality group is different. A reality group is connected to reality. It exists to get things done, to solve problems, to create excellent work, to pursue a clear purpose. In a reality group, people can speak honestly. Information flows freely. Diverse opinions are allowed. The leader does not surround themselves with people who only say yes. The group does not panic at every setback. It does not waste energy on endless politics. It channels the social force upward. Instead of emotional contagion spreading fear, it spreads calm. Instead of conformity creating blind agreement, it creates cooperation around a meaningful mission. Instead of status games consuming everyone, people earn respect through contribution. This is the type of group you want to build, or join, or influence. And even if you are not the leader, you can begin by becoming the kind of person who raises the group. Stay calm when others become emotional. Ask better questions when others rush to judgment. Focus on facts when others drift into drama. Give credit where it is due. Challenge bad ideas gently but clearly. Do not feed gossip. Do not worship power. Do not demonize outsiders. Do not let the group's fear become your fear. That is how you resist the downward pull. Now let's bring this law back to your own life. Think about the groups you belong to, your workplace, your family, your friends, your online communities, your culture, your social circle. Ask yourself, where am I performing? Where am I copying? Where am I afraid to disagree? Where have I accepted opinions I never truly examined? Where am I confusing belonging with truth? And most importantly, who am I when no one is watching? Because that is the person you must protect. The group will always pull on you. It will pull on your emotions, your opinions, your identity, your desire for approval. your fear of rejection. That pull will never disappear. But awareness gives you power. Once you see the group's influence, you can work with it. You can cooperate without surrendering. You can belong without becoming blind. You can respect others without losing yourself. That is Law 14, the law of conformity. The crowd can give you comfort. The group can give you strength. But if you are not careful, it can also take away your ability to think. And once you lose that, you lose the one thing that makes you truly free. So learn the game, understand the group, watch the emotional currents, observe the status games, notice the pressure to conform, and then create space inside yourself, because the strongest person in the group is not the loudest, not the most popular, not the most obedient. The strongest person is the one who can stand inside the crowd and still think clearly. Thank you for watching.